I was always afraid of you. I feared you more than I ever loved you. And once I didn't have to fear you anymore, all I had left was rage. You threatened to take my head off multiple times. You threatened me and physically harmed me multiple times. You threatened to take my life more times than you have ever said you loved me. You never told me why you and Mom didn't work. And I never asked because I didn't want to know then. But in the end, I ended up having to hear it from both of them. And yes, I said both of them. Because the woman that you married and the woman that you got pregnant are two separate people. And you cheated on both of them. You used to beat me all the time for lying. Which is extra wild because before I ever lied to you, I always told you the truth. I would tell you what was going on. I would tell you what was affecting me. I told you how it was affecting me. And you would always tell me to just ignore it. I'd be ignoring it and then it gets worse. You tell me to go talk to somebody. They don't do anything. I come back to you. You tell me to just ignore it. You make some buffer of an excuse not to get involved. And then when the effects of it are seen, i.e. with my grades, you act like you have amnesia and you can't remember when I came to you. Thus, I must be lying, or I didn't do what you said to do. Me doing what you said to do is what's causing an issue. I think the thing that bothered me the most was that you didn't understand how your part to play in this was affecting me so deeply. Like, I would tell you that I was having issues in school. You would brush it off, or I would try to explain things to you. You cut me off mid-sentence, insisting that you heard everything you needed to hear, when in actuality, from what you would tell me, it was clear that you didn't. You would tell me to ignore everything. Me ignoring being harassed and beaten and robbed and overall just dragged throughout school, having people think that I'm a punk and just ignoring it all the time because I'm afraid of what you will do to me if they call home and say that I've been acting out again. And then you see the impacts and the effects of what I tell you I'm dealing with. The incomplete assignments, the bad report cards, the calls home saying that I'm acting out again. All that made me do was just stop wanting to come to you. Because I was tired of being brushed off. I was tired of being told to just ignore it or just deal with it. I was tired of being beaten until I had panic attacks. I was tired of being threatened to being thrown out the house. I was tired of everything that was my norm under your care. You and your wife always told me that when I finally got old enough, I can make my own decisions once I start making my own money. Soon as I start making my own money off of my first job, you start taking all of my money to blow on whatever I don't even know. And then when I'd ask you about it, you would either say, I gave birth to you. I should be able to take whatever I want from you. I bought you things your entire life. I should be able to come and take your money whenever I want. And then take it to the point where you consistently leave me in the negatives, even while I am working 3 jobs trying to save up to go to college and afford a car so I can stop depending on you so much. I started to realize why your wife was making very unkind comments about you to her friends every time you left the house. The way that you really gaslit the hell out of me, saying I raised you, I paid for everything that you ever had, I should be able to take all your money whenever I ask. I started understanding why your wife called you a liar and a moocher. I started understanding. Because you really tried to make me pay you back for stuff that was just your obligations. You're supposed to feed your son. You're supposed to clothe your child. You're supposed to do these things. Just because there's people out there in the world who don't, for whatever reason, doesn't mean you suddenly get a high pass for the bare minimum. You always told me to respect your wife. But the wild part was you didn't really respect her wife. And you threatened my life over that. You threatened my life over a lie she told you. And I remember when you used to say you could take my head off whenever you feel like it, or you could you could do so many things to me with ease. It really made me wonder how you saw me. It really did. But your wife's was something else entirely. You would touch all up on her even when she says she doesn't want you to touch her. You would demand affection from her despite many times her saying no, she doesn't want to. I remember you would tell her to stop making you late for work when the only thing keeping you late for work was the fact that you didn't respect that she was setting a boundary on she doesn't want to kiss you or have you touch her. All the times that you gaslit her about what you used to do while she was complaining about paying for everything in that house by herself. All the times that you would just downplay what she was telling you she was going through and it being surprised when she didn't want to hear it anymore. And seeing you do that really brought out a fear in me because it made me think, I don't like people doing things for me now. Because when they do things for me, it makes me think, okay, what are you expecting of that now? Because you keep saying that you bought her a house and leave her to pay everything in it. You actively neglect, harass, and then cheat on her. And then you tell me I need to be the one that respects your wife. What's wilder still is, even after getting caught red-handed cheating, you still try to lie to me and then come to me later and tell me that I need to apologize to your wife, as if I've done anything wrong besides try to make things happen for myself when there was nothing but chaos. And then had the nerve to say, do you really feel like you would be better off without us in your life? Given the fact that I never heard from you, and the fact that I never bothered to reach out while trying to fix the mess that you left me in, I feel the answer should have been obvious. You really called my phone playing with me. The day that I graduated high school was supposed to be the greatest day of my life. It was supposed to mark the day that I finally got my freedom. You turned that into one of the most turbulent times that I've ever had, to the point where I still have nightmares about it. And I've got nothing from being raised by you but a mental illness that I have to go to therapy and take medication for. The biggest regret that I have in my life is the fact that I can no longer see certain people that I loved and grew up with because of the choices that I made just to keep you out of my life. I will never forgive you for that.